All right, we are back here on the Crash Report. You can listen to the show anywhere you get podcasts. You can go to our YouTube channel, the Crash Report, to watch this full interview with BUDDERSIDE, other highlights and clips from the show, and more. And you can hit us up on all social media at Crash Report Show. Like I said, right now I'm here with Patrick and Sam from BUDDERSIDE. What's going on, guys?
Chilling, early morning vibes with you. This is early for us. We stay up late. I think Sam, I told Sam, I said, we got to get up early tomorrow. He's like, cool, I've been trying to get up earlier. But of course, we both went to bed around 4:30. So,
oh my God, what time is it? What is it, like 11 a.m. over there?
Yes, that's so early, man.
I used to wake up real late, and then I had a kid, so I was like, man, I can't stay up late all the time anymore. So what's going on, guys? How you doing?
Doing good, man. We've been staying busy. The pandemic hasn't slowed us down. We're creative, doing videos, live, like that. So writing a lot.
Having some issues with your audio here.
Oh, can you hear us now?
Yes. No. Yeah. Hey, no. Now you cut out. Man, I fucking hate Zoom. I'll tell you that much.
Maybe I hold it. Is that better?
Yes.
Okay. All right, cool. Let's do it like that. Yeah. You said, how are we doing? What are we doing? We're just, we're being really creative. The pandemic hasn't slowed us down. We've created like 4 or 5 videos over the last, since the thing happened over the last year. We went to Arizona, recorded a whole new record. We've been doing a lot of writing, live streams, stuff like that. So we're making the best of it.
Yeah. Trying to be as productive as possible.
Yeah.
That's all we can do right now. I mean, these are wild times, but you guys have a new album, Spiritual Violence, coming out March 26th. But before we get into that, I do want to talk about the recent live stream you guys did at the Whiskey. I think that was it was on Lemmy's birthday, right?
Hell yeah.
How was that? I mean, I've never seen you guys live, but I would imagine a band like you guys really has to feed off of the energy of a live crowd. And, of course, with the times that we're living in, I mean, this has become a common thing as these live streams. But, I mean, how did that go? Do you find it difficult to kind of really get into it when you're just playing to cameras, essentially?
I mean, yes and no. Obviously the not having the energy of the crowd and the humans in the room, makes it kind of hard. But at the same time, for us, I mean, we hadn't played in so long, so that it was exciting to be able to play. So it all kind of just comes out.
Yeah. I mean, I'm grateful for the experience that, we're still doing something, but yeah, man, I mean, if you compare one to the other, it's hard. It's hard. And it's you go to get it's just that moment, the end of the song or whatever. And you're waiting for that feedback and that response. And you just kind of got to pretend that it's there and know that you kicked enough ass that whoever might be watching on the other end is getting into it. So it's kind of more acting than it is performing in a way, because performing is definitely a back and forth with the crowd.
Well, I'm assuming it was planned to do it on Lemmy's birthday. Obviously, I mean, I think most people know this by now, but it was Lemmy himself that signed you guys, and you guys were the first band on the label, right?
Yes. Yeah. They had an idea and they went for it, and they put us in the studio with Lemmy's son, Paul, produced the first record. Yeah. Yeah,
that's what I saw. That's, I mean, that's insane. And I mean, you got the gig because Patrick, you were working for Motorhead. You were what, a guitar tech, right?
Yeah, I was screwing up their instruments for quite a while. Yeah.
I'm curious, how did the whole deal with Motorhead music come about? I mean, was it something where you went to Lemmy and said, "Hey, look, I got this band, you got to check it out," or was it more of like, did he come to the table with the deal, or was it you kind of pushing him in that sort of direction?
Well, back roadieing for Lemmy, he just always shared his music with me. He was more interested in like kind of like connecting with me more artistically. And Phil Campbell too. Phil Campbell was on some of my first demos. We were just kind of hanging out in the same places, going to a lot of the same houses. In fact, my house was a hot spot, if you know what I mean, for all of us. But we would hang out there for weeks on end. But they were always pushing me to do my music. The roadieing thing was just kind of like I was in the right place at the right time, and one guy couldn't make it overseas, so I jumped on the tour. But but yeah, it was slow coming because I was really pursuing a lot of other projects that Lemmy kicked the door down for a few of, like the Velvet Revolver thing, and a few things were hit and miss. But like, you know, when you're relying on a big rock star to decide your fate, sometimes you're left out in the cold for a few days at a time. And I just kind of got a little bit tired of waiting around for somebody else to make the moves to make my career as big as I wanted to. And the Motorhead camp was just always pushing me. And I think it was really Todd Singerman, Lemmy's manager, that was on the phone with me. I think I was having some issues with Steven Adler. Not that there's anything wrong with him. I love the guy to death. But, you know, things just weren't quite the Patrick show. You know what I mean? So he just reminded me that he loved my songs. And whenever I was ready, he wanted to put me into the studio. And I finally made that call and said, Todd, I'm ready. And that's when he put 2 and 2 together, and Lemmy was super excited about it. Lemmy had us come out to his 70th birthday party and play, you know, just before he died there. And that was really when we got the first big thumbs up. And then there was this big meeting at the Rainbow, and, you know, we started signing our life away.
Well, I want to backtrack real quick. Maybe I should know this, but what is the whole Velvet Revolver thing? Did you audition for Velvet Revolver back in the day, or?
Yeah, there was actually 2 opportunities for me to get the gig. And on the first one, I was so super high. I've been 15 years sober, but I was batshit crazy. I mean, I was like the guy you didn't want to talk to. I was the guy you didn't want to know. And I got on the phone with Slash at one point through a mutual girlfriend of ours. And she knew them forever. She was really tight with them. And she suggested I'd be the singer. But I was on the phone, I don't think it was more than 30 seconds with Slash before he realized I was so wasted that he kind of hung up. But then fast forward quite a few years, I was sober, and Lemmy kicked that door down. He told Slash that I should be the new singer for Velvet Revolver. So it wasn't too long before I got a call from Matt and the guys, and they'd sent over some demos and stuff that they were working on. And I recorded a couple. They liked them enough to do a couple more. And then just about the time where I thought it was going to pop and everything was going to go, you know, into outer space, everybody kind of went their own directions. Duff did his Loaded thing. Slash did that amazing album that he did with all those superstar singers. Everybody kind of just went in different directions. So, yeah.
Well, speaking of those guys real quick, the Duff's last album, I think it's called like Tenderness or whatever. My God, what a great album. Have you guys heard that album?
Yeah.
It's pretty great.
Yeah.
I was so like not expecting it to be so mellow and just chill out, but holy shit, was that a good record.
Yeah, him and Izzy both, they kind of can mellow out really well.
Tone it down.
Yeah.
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 You know, when you were working with Motorhead, were you also doing the Adler's Appetite thing at the same time?
No, the Adler's Appetite thing definitely consumed 110% of my life when that came along. We went straight out on the road. I think the first run we did was like 52 shows in 60 days.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So that's all I was doing. I hadn't roadied for Motorhead for quite some time when that opportunity came up. By the time I got sober, that was when I really decided that like, I wasn't going to do anything except for pursue my musical career. And I got pretty far with some of my heroes, for sure. I had to pinch myself many times standing on stage with guys that I never would have dreamed of playing with. But that gave me enough confidence to do this thing with the best guitar player there is sitting right here at my right.
Yeah, well, Sam, I want to get into your background a little bit too, because you and I are the same age. I think we're both 25, and yeah. You grew up in the Midwest, and you know you were 14 years old playing to 7,000 people or whatever. And my God, that's mind blowing, because when I was 14 years old, I was in this shitty little band. And I might have been 15, and I thought we were such a badass band because we played the fucking 4th of July festival in the fucking, you know, little college town where I'm from. And I mean, my God, what an insane story.
It was pretty crazy. I mean, really even the crazier fact is, to me at least, is the guy who had allowed us to open the show and wanted us to open the show. We were supposed to open a different show for him. And
it was like 21 and over or something though, I heard, right? And you couldn't get in.
Exactly. No. Yeah. I was 14, the singer was 14, and the drummer was like 16 or 17. And the fact that he kept his word, and he's like, okay, the next show that I do, I'm going to have you guys open. And it happened to be that arena show where it was going to be, 7,000 to 10,000 people, whatever it was. But I mean, it was really just that. If anything hooked me, that made me, hooked for sure to do this for life.
Well, and then I mean, you went to LA to go to the Musicians Institute, and it seems like you're very good at following opportunities or making opportunities present themselves from doing the arena thing at 14 years old, and then I know you ended up like jamming with Gilby Clarke or whatever, and you got to meet. I think you were met Jerry Cantrell, who I think you said is like your idol or whatever. And then of course, now in BUDDERSIDE and Faster Pussycat, and of course, Dorothy, which she seems to be. She's been like on the up and up for years now. It seems like.
Yeah, I mean, it's I don't know, just certain things have kind of come my way. It doesn't just happen. I mean, it takes a lot of work of going out. I've lived out here about 7.5 years, and in normal life, go out quite a bit. I'm not a partier or anything, but I like to go to all the different jam nights around town and network. And that's how I met this guy. And that's just,
he's just the busiest. People. He's just the busiest musician around, and everybody wants him. It puts a huge fire under my ass because, like, if I sleep in too late one day, he'll be in like 3 other bands. You know what I mean?
Well, I was going to ask, how do you manage the time between? I mean, obviously not right now, but but between all, because I think was it I don't know, maybe 2 summers ago, I saw Dorothy with Breaking Benjamin. Were you on that tour with the Breaking Ben tour?
I wasn't, but actually because I was out with Faster Pussycat, the bass player had mentioned something about, wanting to possibly call back then, but then I was already out with Faster back then. I don't know, it's scheduling is difficult, but ultimately, just, I don't know, right now there's, in normal times, I don't know. It's all just a big mess.
Just got to make it happen. It all ends up happening, but who knows how, right?
Yeah, it's the same thing with all of the guys in the group, really. I mean, we kind of have to stop ourselves from really jumping on other opportunities because, like, we all really believe in BUDDERSIDE enough, so much now that we've gone and recorded, from scratch. We've gone and made and written a lot of songs together, and now we have something that we're so excited about, you know what I mean? So we all really, really want this to happen more than anything else we could possibly have going on. And as far as we can tell, we've got a really great a great dream team around us to make sure that we, we get as far as we can possibly go. So we're super excited, but
that's the correct answer.
Yeah. But lots of respect for Dorothy and Faster Pussycat. Those guys have been my bros forever. So it's just like, I love them to death, but if it does come to blows, to if we both have tour dates at the same time, somebody's going to suffer, and it ain't going to be me.
Well, talk to me about the new album, Spiritual Violence. I know you have a few guest appearances. Phil Campbell, of course, from Motorhead, and I watched that video, and I don't know what it is. I love animated videos if they're done a certain way, and my God, what a kick-ass video that was.
Yeah, it was super cool. Pablo's the guy who directed it and drew it. Just wow, he had a time crunch, 45 days, I think, from the first phone call to the due date that we put in, and the artistic style that he used. I enjoyed it too. The red and the black and everything else. I think it was a great portrayal of it wasn't too happy for a cartoon, But yeah, I just basically told him the story, and we wanted to have some heart in there. But along with Phil Campbell, I just listened to an interview you had with Carla Harvey.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So
we're on the song Amber Alert, right?
Yeah, baby.
Yeah.
It's so sick. It's so cool because I sound like the girl on the track and she sounds like the devil on the track. Really unleash that, her real, that side of her. I know now they're starting to break through into this, they've got this great niche style of music, the Butcher Babies. To me, it seems so different from what they were doing before because it's really melodic, a lot of, vocal harmonies and just, it's just a lot more singing, I think, than screaming, but love the screaming stuff too. But she really laid down the devil on Amber Alert, and we went and filmed a video I don't even want to give you too much about it because I don't want to let you know too much, but it's probably the most epic one we've done so far. And we've gone all the way to Japan to film videos. So that's something.
Yeah, no, I'm looking forward to seeing it and hearing it. I mean, you know, as far as Carla, which, by the way, if you haven't checked out the last episode with Carla Harvey, go ahead and do that. But, you know, she's such a cool chick. And, that last interview, I think you said you saw it, but, you know, she got very emotional. Because she's a death doula, you know. Yeah. And I'll tell you, I felt so bad that you know, I had her in tears because I wasn't trying to make her break down, you know, on camera. But she's a very interesting person for sure.
I love that she's taken on such a, you know, it's a more meaningful purpose in life. You know what I mean? She wants to be there for people. I love that. And she, you know, I just lost my father December 18th. And, you know, she reached out on numerous occasions to check in and make sure that I was okay. And it's just like, even if it's a 1-second phone call or just a text message or something like that, when you're going through stuff like that, every minute that you're not thinking about the grief is a moment that you're not thinking about the grief. So, you know, she's just a really special person, man. So she deserves all of the success that she's got. And we're just so freaking excited. Like, the video is just so cool. And she sounds so great. We're really proud of this track coming out in March with her on it. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I wanted to ask you regarding your father, because that was, what'd you say, December 18th? So that was like a week before the live stream. Was that, you know, to be extremely difficult? I don't know how, I mean, were you close with your father?
Yeah, no, he meant everything to me. He's like the whole reason I became sober. It's still something that, you know, every day it still punches me in the face, and you just go into this, you know, you break down. So yeah, it was extremely difficult, but you got to put on that, you know, the show must go on, and that show was dedicated to Lem, and we'd already made this, you know, this huge plan, and we've got a wonderful PR company behind us. So all the press releases were out, and, you know, it's time to, you know, put on your big boy pants and go and do it. And with a band like this, I mean, these guys too, not only Carla, but, you know, I've just got a lot of love around me, and the band is the biggest support system that we could possibly have. Every morning we wake up, we've got this, our text message numbers are at about 250, you know, every morning, because like, you know, a couple of the guys are in different parts of the world right now. So we're just constantly texting each other, constantly checking in on each other, constantly keeping each other positive, constantly making each other laugh.
Every single day,
you know,
all day.
I'm pretty sure each of us know what we had for dinner. You know what I mean? It's just ridiculous, the stuff that we go back and forth with. And that helps.
That's what you need in a band. You need that camaraderie in a band.
Yeah, it's the best. It absolutely is the best.
When you were the writing process for this record, was the record already done when your father had passed away, or did that influence any of the songwriting at all, or was it already in the can?
The stuff that you'll start to get a peek at around middle of the summer, we're hoping. You know, we don't want to talk about it too much because we are promoting the record that we have out now. But Spiritual Violence was, but about midsummer you'll start catching that. There is one song on the on the new recordings that we created in the midst of my father's passing that strikes a really, really intense chord. But you'll catch that. Won't be till about midsummer. That's the next record. But this record was kind of it was like we'd been touring nonstop for about 2 years. We were just coming back from the UK, and I literally just set the date with Jay Baumgartner and said, yeah, I've got a bunch of songs, and we didn't have any. And we just he trusted me. And by the time we started recording, I think most of it was done. But by the time we got to the last song, which was actually Amber Alert, didn't have any lyrics. I literally was walking into the vocal booth going, what the fuck am I going to sing about? And then luckily there was this, it was this dame hanging around, and she inspired me enough to come up with some pretty kinky lyrics. And that's what fed into that thing.
Made a really cool song.
You know, you've mentioned your sobriety, and there's a song on the new record. I think it's called "Things We Do," which I believe you said previously documents kind of your sobriety and stuff. And congratulations, by the way, on 15 years of sobriety.
Thanks, man.
But you know, I was curious.
Sam has 25 years sobriety.
I know you said I was watching another interview with you, and you said you don't drink or do drugs or anything, right?
Yeah, you got the sober guys this morning.
Yeah.
That is crazy to me because I would imagine being so young and having so much opportunity. I know how wild I was, and I wasn't fucking, doing half the crazy shit that you get to do, and I was, I wasn't a huge partier, but I feel like that's the thing, especially for young guys like us.
Yeah, just for me personally, the gear and the, music stuff, that's my drug. So
That's what you spend your money on, right? Not.
Yeah.
Not me. I was hookers and blow all the way. No.
Well, I was going to ask. I was going to.
Anyway.
I was going to ask about what was there a specific incident that you were like, oh my God, I got to fucking stop? Or did you just wake up one day and you were like, man, I've had enough of this shit. Fuck this.
Again, back to my father, really, to be honest, there's like a higher power, and anybody that's had their sobriety, like kick into gear, like mine has. My friend, Matt Pinfield, and I share a lot in common with this, and we talk about it a lot. But I basically had, I hope I don't disgust anybody too much, but I had a needle in my arm ready to basically kill myself. I'd been homeless, I think, for about 2 months, just scraping my heels across Hollywood, going from one bender to the next. I had managed to save up enough for a tiny little hotel room down there at the 777 near La Brea and Hollywood. And it was just this tiny room with a bed and a TV. And I was literally trying to do myself in, like, I lost all of my music equipment. I think I had a couple of outfits to wear, but I was a dirty, slimy drug addict, junkie, and I didn't really.
How old were you at this time?
33, 32, 33, 33. Yeah. So anyway, I basically had a needle in my arm, and the phone rang, and I hadn't talked to my parents, my family, for 5 years. I just shut them out. But I got a call from my father's area code, and I thought that was strange. So I literally stopped what I was doing. I answered the phone, and my dad's neighbor said, hey, this is your dad's neighbor, Lance, and your father's having a heart attack. Do you want to talk to him? And I was like,
holy shit.
I was like, wait, what? And I kind of had this tunnel vision. Like, the best way I can describe it, I've done this a few times, is like, it's like you're kind of underwater in some, like, a murky water. Like, when you're high for that long, I'm talking 14, 15 years of just straight getting high. I don't think I stopped at all, ever. And I'm talking shooting up 6 times a day. I was the worst junkie you could find. The only people that were worse than me are the people that kept going. And I think I've lost about 5 or 6 of the friends and people that I used to hang out and do that with are all dead. So I'm super fortunate to have gotten out of that. But like, it's like you're swimming through this murky water, and then, like, I had this tunnel vision of clarity. There was like this much of the world that I could see clearly. And that was enough to say, take this little guitar that you've got here, run to the pawn shop, sell it, go to the airport and get on a plane. And I think within about 2 hours, he was up in Tahoe Medical Center up there. And by the time I got to the airport, they were flying him by helicopter to Reno, because they had treated his heart attack, but then he started to have a stroke and his head was swelling, and they didn't have a specialist there to take care of it. So they had to fly him once again, one operation down, then they flew him over to Reno. And I started praying that very second that, like, I had lost the connection that you should have with a father long before. He'd kicked me out. We had a horrible relationship. I hated him. I felt like he hated me. So there was this race to, like, save him. And that was it. That was the last moment I did drugs. I got up there, I sat by his side for a good 2 weeks, holding his hand, hoping that he'd grab back, but he was completely out. Like, I think kind of in a coma for quite some time. But his neighbor was there at the hospital to meet me. He brought me back to my dad's place. I got the keys to his van, and I had his Doberman with me, and we just started kicking. I just started kicking dope at my dad's place, getting sick and throwing up and shatting myself, cleaning myself up, going to the hospital, sitting by his side for weeks, just praying and praying and praying, saying, God, if you just please save my father and give me a relationship, some kind of relationship with him, I won't ever look back and do those crazy, stupid things again. I will go for my dreams. I will get everything he put me on this planet to do. And lo and behold, my father came back to me, and I had, 15 wonderful years with him, since then. Yeah.
Wow, what a story, man. Oh my God.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Damn, you're probably real glad from hearing that story that you're sober.
It's crazy. I mean, I've heard his story quite a few times, especially coming back from Arizona. He was on like a Zoom thing where he was kind of like the guest of this AA kind of thing, right? Yeah. And hearing the intensity of all of it is really, it's heavy stuff, man. But very, very happy that he's here.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, a lot of people don't make it out of that. So seriously, props to you, man. Congratulations on that. That's quite the story.
Yeah, appreciate it. It's all about up there,
I never asked this question. Seriously, you guys are the first band that I've ever asked this question to, because I hate this question with a passion. But I was reading an article, Patrick, you had done an interview, and that they were asking you about crazy tour stories. And I hate asking about crazy tour stories, but you brought up some insane examples. But there was one thing in particular, two things in particular, that I was very curious about. One of them was there was an explosion or something that stopped a show with 20,000 fans. I was curious what that was, or if that was just like a generic example.
Actually, three things come to mind. First off, the tour bus blowing up doesn't count because that's not a show.
Yeah.
I don't think you saw. There was one crazy thing that happened back when I was doing something with Chips Enough, but I think the one that you're talking about is was I roadieing? Is it this question?
I honestly don't know. It was just I think the question was something about between Motorhead and the other bands you've been in. What are some crazy things you've had? You talked about the contest with girls, how far they can hurl shit out of their areas, and chicks covered in shit and all that stuff getting
yeah, fucking bag of shit.
So I was like, my God.
That's that. Yeah. If you talk to Mickey D, just go, what is squish mean? That's a conversation starter right there. No, but the more wholesome one, and probably the scariest one of all, I know exactly what you're talking about. And I knew exactly what you're talking about. PRS guitars. Sam, can you explain their tuning, how they'd string up PRS guitars?
Well,
the back, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah, string through the body.
Right.
Yeah. Well, so instead of certain guitars have like bridges on them at the bottom where you put the strings through, and I guess these particular guitars had them string through the body, so it goes through the back.
Oh, okay.
So here's the thing: is that like I said, I was more like kind of like I was more like the pet. I was like the tour pet, but like they assigned, I was the roadie. Yes, I would tune the guitars and everything was fine. But so Phil got like this endorsement from PRS Guitars, so this big batch of new guitars comes in, right? And I'm not the techie guy keeping up with all my stuff, which Sam would have been great at. But so anyways, I'm handed a boat of guitars, and I'm supposed to have them ready for the show. And I'm doing everything that the Motorhead crew does all day long. You know what I mean? It's like, we won't get into that. It's it's kind of a known thing what we're all up to. But anyways, I didn't do my studying. I didn't do my homework. And I was just like, why aren't these guitar strings staying tight? If you look on the back of the headstock, there's a hole and there's like a little screw on these things, right?
Oh, locking tuners.
The locking tuners, right? So you slip the string through, you tighten this thing, and then you only have to turn the tuning peg like half a turn until it's right around in the range where it gets tuned. Well, I just don't know that that's back there, and I don't understand this concept. So I keep trying to wrap the string around, and there's only about this much of the tuning peg on that side of the guitar. So the strings keep slipping off the damn thing, right? And I just don't know what to do. So I start getting it to where it's like in tune, and then you put it down and it just goes out of tune. The strings are loose. I didn't get it. And And I asked Phil before, I said, can you not use these guitars tonight? Like, I don't know what's wrong with them, but he's like, no, you know, and they go on, and it comes time to hand him that freaking guitar. And I mean, I think I'd spent the first half of the show. I remember there was this one guy trying to grab his tuners, right? For some reason, there was no barricade at this particular show, and the house is full. And I remember this guy looking up at me, and he just looked all crazy. And I'm like, and you know, I did everything short of kicking this guy in the face. You know what I mean? So I'm making enemies. I mean, that was kind of my job. I was like, I watched after Phil. I kind of kept everybody at bay. I did everything to keep the show going. And sometimes that included making enemies out of some of the people in the front row. But I handed him that guitar, man. And as loud as Motorhead is, he went out right there, and he ran out confident, and he strummed that guitar. The freaking strings flew off the guitar. This huge freaking noise of all the PA and everything just went. The whole fucking house sounded like the roof was coming off, and like everybody screamed, and everybody's plugging their ears, and there's this horrible freaking noise. They finally just like shut the whole system down. They get the mic back up, and Lemmy just says, I'd like to fucking introduce you to our fucking guitar tech, Mr. Patrick Stone. And I walk out on the freaking stage, and everybody that hated me is throwing bottles at me. They're throwing whatever at me. And I just kind of did my walk of shame back to the bus. And that was probably the biggest time. That was the time it made the most sense that Lemmy said, you know, you should really be in front of this on stage instead of behind stage. So I listened.
God.
Yeah.
Well, the other one that I wanted to ask about, because you went into zero detail in the article I was reading, and it really piqued my interest, was the crazy glue story.
Oh, we're not talking about that.
Oh man, is it really that bad?
It is. You know what? And I thought it was kind of funny, and Todd and I got a kick out of it. It's just we were sitting with the Zappa. We were sitting with the Zappa family, and it's just funny how one person can turn to you and go, that's really fucked up, dude. And I went, yeah, I don't think I should, but let's just say it had to do with like, it was revenge, you know, not that the girl didn't deserve it, but,
oh no,
it just, yeah. Yeah.
Holy shit. Wow. Before we wrap it up here, what is outside of the album coming out next month? What's next for Butterside? You know, during COVID, past COVID. Hopefully, we're on the home stretch of this thing.
Yeah, I hope so. Right?
Very much hope so.
Yeah. What's the plan, Sam?
I think just a lot more writing and recording new stuff.
Yeah.
And promoting this stuff, promoting the spiritual violence stuff that, you know, comes out in a little over a month, March 26th. And just more writing, recording, working. You
guys got any tours on the books? I mean, COVID pending, of course.
Yeah, we do. We have quite a few. We got
in theory.
Yeah, no. We've got Rocklahoma. We still have that. So the whole tour will ensue around that. Europe has been biting at our heels, but nobody can set something in stone.
Japan also, right?
Yeah, Japan also. So we've literally got lots of stuff lined up, and we'll have more too. Again, yeah, spiritual violence. We're all about this record right now, but you know, since we are in quarantine, we're looking for every possible way to stay busy. So every song, every epic hit song needs a video. So we've got our work cut out for us for the next, you know,
little while for sure.
Each video takes about I would say the whole process takes about 2 months, like a month in planning. You shoot the thing, and then another month of editing. So 2, 4, 6, 8. We have at least 8 months of creating incredible video material to get done, because we set out to record some hit songs with a producer named Matt Good. He's just phenomenal. He twisted and turned us into something that we could never have foreseen, and we are so excited. It's just so powerful. Spiritual violence is badass. Jay Baumgartner is a god in his own right, but it's like, you know, I love that you can work with different people and find out what happens. Like we had no idea what to expect going in with this guy, and we went in with practically zero written, and we really got to see what we're made of as a band together, what we came up with as a whole, and we pushed ourselves to just like the excruciating limits, to the point where we were like insane walking out of the place, just like not sure if we got anything, knowing that we gave everything we had. I left my throat on the floor. His fingers fell off. Everybody fell apart, giving 120,000% above what we thought we were capable of. And what came back to us was just, it's really exciting, man. So we can't wait to make some videos, and we've set the bar super high for ourselves with the videos. And we want to just create like basic mini movies, out of everything, and just really make the song experience and the lyric experience as relatable to people as possible. So the visual has to be right there with it. And especially with the lockdown and everything else, the only way you're really going to reach people is by having captivating songs and videos, I think. So we're honing in on that as much as we can until they give us the green light to tour, and then everything's off. Then we're just, let's go. We want to tour nonstop. Hopefully we'll get as much music out as we possibly can before they let us go tour again, so that we can just play 2-hour sets until we die.
Yeah.
Well, make sure you check out Spiritual Violence when it comes out on March 26th. Patrick and Sam, thank you guys so much for coming on. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Logan. You're the best.
And we will be right back on the Crash Report. Hang on.
We'll see you next time on the Crash Report. While you wait, make sure to like and subscribe to the show, damn it. Thanks for listening.